Hello, everybody. Today's Christmas. Merry Christmas. This video, I'll be talking about the CDs that I got in Colorado, but I already made part one of that, so here's part two.
Welcome to Tune Fever, baby.
Okay, first on the list, Deftones, their album Ohms. This is a new one from this year. Very, very exciting to own this, and I'm so glad it's good because I wasn't huge on Gore, which is the last album, the one before this. So it's important. If you haven't heard this, you must hear this. And I've been working on the best albums of 2020 list. Like I did one for 2019 last year. I think I did it in like February though, so it's kind of goofy. This year I hope to have the 2021 out by the end of the year. That's on it. Sneak peek. Next up, Death with their album Human. It's a good one. In fact, it's my favorite Death album. And Death is a band with lots of great material. Tons of excellent albums. This one in particular I like because of the fretless bass of Steve DiGiorgio. Some pronunciation like that. Steve DiGiorgio plays fretless bass on this. Fantastic playing. Huge fan of the album and also of that part of it. Oh, gosh. It's like something. This is like a 2-disc. It has instrumentals and stuff, which would be cool if I want to learn the songs on bass or something. It says Death Human here. And then on this side, Relapse Records decided to plug their merch site, which I'm not sure why they did on the spine. I don't know. They've been doing that lately. Sort of weird. The next album here is Hieroglyphics with their album Third Eye Vision, which is sort of an underground hip-hop classic. Super important to like the more independent approach of hip-hop music. I am a massive fan of one of the members of this collective who goes by the name of Del the Funky Homo Sapien. I'm a massive fan of his, and he kind of started here in this collective. And this album sort of gives each dude in the collective kind of like their moments of shine and like their own track, and then also a bunch of posse tracks. Another member of Hieroglyphics that's really cool to me is Casual. And he has a song on here that's like 53 seconds long or something that's completely mind-bending. Absolutely check this album out if you don't know it. Total classic. I guess, yeah, it's a pretty cool package too. It like has nice stuff to read. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Kind of nice package. Nice to have that. Up next, we have this album by Luddite Clone, which is called The Arsonist and the Architect, which the spine and the front disagree because this says that it's called The Arsonist and the Architect, but this says, here, try and see if, well, maybe this side. Do you see that? It says The Architect. It puts an I before that E. So I'm not sure if it's called Architect or Architect. Who made this? Yeah, Relapse. What happened, Relapse? Relapse, you're being weird in this video. Why is that? Everyone likes Relapse, but they're being weird in this video. Anyway, let me talk about what this actually is. It's a metalcore, kind of mathish, pretty perfectly unhinged, especially vocals, very unhinged vocals. It's pretty much right up my alley. And, you know, who knows, maybe that's like a misprint or something. And you know, those Misfits, they have the misprints that go for money. I sort of doubt this is a misprint because I don't really see it getting printed any more than once, being what it is. But it's really excellent. It's a really good one. Isn't it an EP? Yeah, it has 6 songs. It's an EP, so I should mention that. Jurassic 5, Power in Numbers. Oh, goodness. I first heard a song on this from Tony Hawk Underground. It's the theme song of the game, and that led me to check out their music, which includes this album that it is on. And I enjoyed the whole album for sure. And so now I have that. And I have noticed that there's 2 different versions of this album cover out in the wild. There's this one that's yellow sky. There's another one that's got kind of like a darker blue sky, like night and day. And those were, whenever I saw them, they were just never the right price, pretty expensive. But this was the right price. So it's mine now. I have this. This is mine to own. Next album up is this album by Reply called A Trail of ... What follows that dot, I am not certain. This is a Belgian hardcore band, which is a country that I guess has music, like apparently. Uh, I mean, it's definitely the first Belgian music in my collection and probably the first Belgian thing that I own. Well, I've had like a Belgian waffle, but that was like from IHOP or Denny's. Not sure that counts. This is probably it. So I'm getting real cultured on Belgian stuff. It might be kind of cool to see if this band, because it's a hardcore band, if they ever did any splits with any other like Belgian hardcore bands. Maybe that's a scene. Who knows? So I might look into that. It's sort of metalish sometimes because the drummer occasionally does like blast beats, but it's a hardcore band mostly. Really good. It's an EP. A lot of EPs in this video. Up next, Sonic Youth, Washing Machine. This is one of their best. I think I put it at number 4 in their discography. Me and Joe did a discography ranking of this band. We have that YouTube video up on my channel. So check that out. I hope you do. This is a pretty playful album for them, I find. And it's got lots of weird stories. Also, I got this one called Confusion is Sex, another Sonic Youth album. Sonic Youth is really great. Plus Kill Your Idols. So I guess that's like this part's the Confusion is Sex, and then there's this part here that's like the Kill Your Idols sort of bonus stuff. How am I gonna hold these? Like that. I'll hold them like that. The first 3 songs on this aren't very good to me. They're okay, but the rest of it, it's like terrific stuff. Although some of the first stuff is good, it just kind of sounds like trash. I don't know. I wish they were recorded a little bit better. And also the songs on this one, they're kind of more like conceptual than they are built like songs sometimes, and that's really interesting and cool and like artistic. But it's nice to have both of those now. Moving on from the Sonic Youth section of this CD haul, we have this Sweetheart with an EP called Art is Dead is Dead. Whatever that means, I've thought about it. I don't know, but it's some pretty oddly composed, like emo rock with plenty of screaming and aggressive vocals, some classic Midwestern melodrama. It's kind of like listening to someone cry. But yeah, 6 songs, it's an EP, or maybe it's like listening to someone scream cry sometimes, like makeup running, tears falling into your tub of chocolate ice cream. It's really good. And then up next, we have this Radiohead album, EP, sorry, too many EPs in this. Pyramid Song. It's an EP. Amnesiac Era, clearly because it's Pyramid Song. And it's got 5 songs. It's not really built like an album experience with like songs. It's kind of built more as a listening experience, but it has Pyramid Song on it to trick you into buying it. I'm sort of kidding. It's actually a really, really good listen. But it does also have that track. Hence the name. Up next, you got this album by These Arms Are Snakes. These Arms Are Snakes. Consult the album cover on that. It's called This Is Meant to Hurt You. It is another EP. They're a quite heavy experimental rock band, and their music is rather incredible, particularly in terms of drumming and vocalist. And they jam. Is pretty cool. The vocalist is kind of like a nutcase in a good way, and the drummer's just really good. It's always something I like. Very fun to listen to. It rocks. Okay, up next, you got The Dead Weather, Sea of Cowards. This is their second album after their best album, Whorehound, which indicates that this is not their best, but it's also really good. That's my opinion. Jack White plays drums and sings on this, although I think most of the singing duties are to the female lead singer who's from the band The Kills. And they actually put, maybe 2013, they put some pretty good stuff out that I remember. I can't remember the exact year. But yeah, she's from The Kills, and pretty much the vocal performances in this project are always really incredible. I'm a pretty big fan of The Dead Weather, and it's nice to have this. And Jack White's playing drums. Cool. Obviously he has done several things in his career, pretty much all of which people care about and like. Yeah, there's no such thing as a non-passionate performance on this. It's always rather fascinating. There's just something pretty dang rock and roll about it. Also, there's organ playing. Anyway, here's the last one on the list. 9 Inch Nails with their album called Fragile, which is I guess I could just tell a little story. Let's see. It's Halo 14. This is not part of the story. This is just part of Nine Inch Nails ness. The story is I went to FYE in Kansas City and bought a copy of what I thought was Tool's album called Enema or something, that weird AE letter. I bought that and then I got into the car and opened it, and it was disc 2 of this 2-disc album called The Fragile by Nine Inch Nails. And I listened to it anyway and thought that it was pretty good. But for the longest time, I mean, I liked the Nine Inch Nails. I just didn't know this album at the time. But I liked disc 2. It was pretty cool. And then I listened to the whole thing and thought it was good, but I didn't have the CD yet. So I've been looking for the CD of this, but every time I see the CD of this, it's too much. Just too much money. Didn't want to pay for it. This one was the right price, so now I have it. And gosh, that was, I would like to say, something like 7 years ago. So 7 years later, here it is. But yeah, that's what's going on there. That was part 2 and also the final part of my CDs that I got in Colorado. And I hope that you guys can check out some of this music. Hope everybody has a wonderful Christmas. Remember the reason for the